Hello and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy episode 603 for the week of Monday, December 18th, 2023. My name is Ryan Higgins. This is our final episode of the year. We normally record on Mondays or Sundays, and well, that's Christmas and New Year's for the next few weeks, so we are going to take a small little break till the end of the year. But we were back for one more episode to talk to you about random stuff from the past week and the past month and a half of comic news we haven't covered, some TV and movie stuff I wanted to talk to you that we've skipped out on. But a very drama less week this past week. Nothing important happened in the comic world. Nothing involving me at all in any way, shape, or form worth talking about. So we'll, I'm sure I'll have nothing to say about any of that. But
what are you talking about? You're back else? On Twitter again.
No. Who else is here this week?
Brock Sager,
Kevin,
and Lane.
Hello.
And Ryan, for the record, nothing involving you happened. It involves some guy.
Oh, some guy. Yeah. Correct.
Get it right.
Correct. That's right.
Some guy. Ryan Higgins.
Ryan Higgins.
Yeah.
That Ryan Higgins.
Never heard of him. No. So I will. At the beginning of this podcast, Kevin wanted a like breakdown of the series of events, how this transpired.
I was there after the bomb blew up, but I didn't know who lit the fuse or who built the bomb. So please educate me.
Sure. So for everyone that missed the fireworks this past week on social media involving myself, you may remember last week we were talking about the one and only Mark Millar of Miller World of Kick-Ass and Jupiter's Legacy fame and other Unwanted and other
Civil War smugness,
other comics that were clearly made as comic books and not movies in any way, shape, or form. They were always supposed to only be comic books. I've talked about him through the life of this podcast and kind of not being the biggest fan in the world. But I used to be a huge Mark Millar fan back at Ultimates and Authority days, big Mark Millar fan.
He worked with your boy, Grant Morrison.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. Grant Morrison brought him into the comic industry, much to Grant Morrison's regret, in later in times. So when we were talking about him last week, we made a couple of references to like him kind of being weird, like even more weird now. Some weird tweets and talking to like Comicscape people and all that stuff. So just I didn't expect anything to come of this. Well, fast forward to after we recorded the podcast, and a few days later, he sort of started doubling down or tripling down and started liking and retweeting a bunch of Comicsgate stuff. For those that don't remember, if you're not familiar with Comicsgate, it is a online splinter group from the old Gamergate days. You can go look those guys up to see what they're all about. It's a bunch of angry internet trolls and general bigots, and they are trying to make comics great again, and they do so by harassing creators and publishers and fans on the internet. It's a wonderful group of people that scam their fans out of hundreds of thousands of dollars by producing some of the worst comic books ever created, but people support them because they fight the woke mob. So that's Comicsgate. And Mark Millar, for whatever reason, started to kind of like not just engage with these people, but promote these people, which led to pretty much everyone calling him out on that, myself included, on Twitter. And now, look, I've not been on Twitter actively, but when I saw this start to happen, I was like, all right, I'm going to go back here and
throw some bombs.
I definitely have stuff to say about Mark Millar. Let me throw my 2 cents out here because that's what Twitter is all about. And so I did that, and I got a little bit of traction. And then he was posting. Let me pull up my actual post here. I can tell you exactly what I posted. He went through and was posting. Suddenly started posting. Way more stuff. I started getting a lot of crap because it's Twitter. So here we go. Mark Millar then posted about and if you saw this trending on social media or anything this past week, that all his haters and everyone that hates Comicsgate and all these people are what is now known as cancel pigs. So if you saw the phrase cancel pigs, or people putting up a bunch of pig gifs, or, making a bunch of bad AI art of blue-haired, overweight female pigs, this all comes from Mark Millar. He decided that the woke mob were nothing but a bunch of cancel pigs, and gave Comicsgate yet another wonderful catchphrase to throw around.
Wait,
he was.
I thought that was Cyberfront's new villain.
Cancel pig. It might be. Well, I got a theory about this. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Yeah, I mean, he was talking to Ethan Skyver, who's, again, known kind of one of the main guys at Comicsgate, a real scumbag. So, again, normal shit. It's Twitter. This is just what happens on Twitter. Well, I happened to take some screenshots of some of the posts he made where he was retweeting Comicsgate people, linking to or looking for information about how some of these comic fans that were getting mad at him were actually paid shills. It turned out later that they believe there is a group of people that of comic fans that are work for they're paid employees of a PR crisis management firm. If you are familiar with who the hell just came back to Twitter? What's his name?
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones, right? If you're familiar with Alex Jones, very similar playbook, right? That everyone that's angry is actually a crisis actor, right?
So that worked really well for that guy.
Yeah, well, yeah, might work well for these guys too.
Yeah, and losing a shit ton of money.
Yeah. Where the shit hit the fan, though. So again, I put up a series of these tweets of Mark Millar just being like, "Well, here's Mark Millar going full on Comicsgate." The one that sparked off a bit of, let's say, controversy was him talking about a quote unquote expose coming out about comic. There's a really, I will just read his tweet. There's a really interesting book being written about this tiny network terrorizing pros these past few years, talking about people, that are go after Comicsgate people, right? I think it's going to really blow up when they're exposed. I think a fantastic documentary on it would be like a dose of salt through the industry. People within that reply, people within that thread were talking about how he was talking about and I'm not going to promote this stuff at all. You can go find this if you want. I'm not going to talk about it here. There is a quote unquote expose being written by comic people about Gail Simone, Kelly Sue DeConnick, and their fans, and just, this is what this is about. If you want to go look up more, I'm sure you can find this. Again, I don't want to promote any of this, but calling out Gail Simone by name, right, in this tweet. So I put all this on Twitter, walked away for the day. So you do. That's what Twitter is about. Well, of course, I came back and, the shit had hit the fan. Mark Millar had seen this. Everyone started tagging Gail Simone in this post. Everyone started coming to Gail Simone's defense. Mark Waid starts taking huge swings at Mark Millar, making some pretty damning claims about Mark Millar's early history in his writing. So this Mark Millar gets sent my tweets because I've had him blocked, and then there's this whole exchange. I then reply to him. I'm like, look, I didn't come up with this. Your own fans did. Your new fans are like, yeah, you're talking about this Comicsgate book that's coming up. Like, you were doing this. We kind of shoot the messenger here, right, a little bit. So Gail and Mark apparently have a big conversation. They both publicly tweeted about this, that they were talking about this, try to get everything settled. Mark Waid is still just throwing fireballs. He's going crazy. He's freaking out. He's screaming at everyone about this, trying to, talk shit about Mark Miller constantly. Legally, I don't know what happens for any of this because Mark Waid made some pretty big claims about people ghostwriting Mark Miller's early work. And that's... I don't know how this is all going to come out in the end. It may be nothing, but ghostwriting is not illegal, but maybe.
Oh, so that's why it was good.
That's sort of yeah, exactly. Well, like the end of Red Son, right? Superman Red Son. It's very well known that Grant Morrison wrote the end of that book, right? Mm-hmm. It's a very common fact. Far from the only thing apparently not ghostwritten. Or the only thing ghostwritten. There's apparently significantly more work, including most of his early work. Again, claims from Mark Waid. I have no idea. Just repeating these. Yeah. So now Mark Waid is once again at the center of Comicsgate. This Cancel Pig thing, like it's like trying to explain internet beef out loud just sounds so stupid.
Wouldn't this be internet pork?
Hey, but when you say it out loud, it just sounds really stupid.
It is really stupid.
It is really stupid. But this is again, once I made the mistake of giving these people any oxygen, and I'm doing it now just to kind of explain the situation. But this is what happens. They are, that Cancel Pigs line gave Comicsgate oxygen and a life that they haven't had in like a year or something like that. Like nobody listens to them, nobody cares about them, but this brought them out of the woodwork, and now we have this whole another round of attacks. Mark Waid has been trending on social media for days now, just getting screamed at from every corner of these assholes. Everyone's making 1,000 fake accounts to just constantly harass him. He's had to lock down his Facebook page, and it's just like, what are you doing, Mark Miller? What are you doing?
Okay.
What possesses you? So, what possesses you to that this is the world you want, right? What's that?
The hill you want to die on?
Yeah. What makes you think that this is what you want to do? That going in with comics people now. Some other people, not myself, I want to say this, I am simply repeating, don't shoot the messenger, simply repeating what other people have tweeted at me directly, that his contract with Netflix is coming up soon, right? It's only for a certain amount of time. He does not own Miller World, as far as I know, right? It's owned by Netflix. He sees the Comicsgate people making a bunch of money on just hate, right? That's what these people do. It's just a grift. Is that what he's trying to do? Is he just trying to team up with these people? Are we going to get a Cancel Pigs comic from Mark Miller and Ethan Van Sciver in 6 months? Right? Is this all a setup for?
So is the Dark Horse plan even real?
Oh, it is. But that's not Mark. That's not his control, right? He doesn't own the company. The company's Netflix. Netflix owns the company, and Dark Horse publishes all of Netflix's comics. So,
but even then, Dark Horse, if they're smart, they don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole now.
Well, see, here's the thing. Again, I don't think now. Someone can correct me if they know better. I don't think any of us are privy to any of these contracts or anything like that, but I would assume if Dark Horse gets the rights to all of Mark Miller's work, but he has no control over it, if they want to get other people to write Kick-Ass or Jupiter's Legacy or Chosen or any of these books, I don't know that that's in his control anymore. Again, I don't know this for fact, but Netflix, as far as I understand, owns Miller World completely. And if they're moving it to Dark Horse, there's a chance that they're just going to. It's like they have the Stranger Things comics and the Witcher comics, right? We talked about this on the last podcast. So I think there's a not insignificant chance that maybe he's not even writing any of this stuff. Maybe that was the whole deal. And so he's like, well, fuck, I got to do something. I guess I'll I'll buddy up with all these guys on Indiegogo and launch my own Cyberfrog crossover.
Is it his own, or is it going to be ghostwritten?
Well, that'd be the thing, right? So it's so weird. It's just like, why? I in my last message, so I unblocked him. I sent him a big public message. I have no idea if he read it, but I said, like, look, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt that you don't actually know what this is, that you don't know what Comicsgate is, and you don't know what these people really are all about.
Knows what it is.
But I will give him the benefit of the doubt that he doesn't. Maybe he's not just terminally online like the rest of us. Maybe he really doesn't. And if that's the case, you can sort of back off from this stuff. There have been plenty of comic creators who kind of were, I won't say straddling the line, but like Donny Cates was not, actively against these people because it's an audience, right? It's your comic audience. But when those people make you one of theirs, look at Elon Musk, right? And all the anti-Semitism and white supremacy on Twitter. They have made him one of theirs, whether he wants to be that or not. And if you don't smack that down, then what do the rest of us have to, what do the rest of us think? So if Miller thinks this is just going to go away, I mean, he's jettisoned his career from Marvel and DC and maybe Image and maybe any other major publisher. Because you can't get into bed with these people. Like, it's just a bad group. So, shitty stuff all around. I mean, I clearly did not mean to cause an international incident, but at the same point, I'm never going to hide away from this type of topic, because if you're engaging with the worst people in the industry, your peers have a right to know, your fans have a right to know. I don't like boycott any product at the store. If I'm not going to order it for the shelf, but if customers want to order it, I mean, that's fine. We've ordered stuff that I know has had AI art or people with Comicsgate leanings, right? But I'm not going to stock that stuff for the shelf. But like, when you're going and you're talking to people that are actively fighting all the rest of the creators, all the people at Marvel and DC, most of the retailers, like, because he did, so and part of all this, Mark Miller did do an interview with 3 retailers. So a lot of this started from the retailer, a big blow up on social media about, again, just more
comics are dead, the industry's dying.
There was a real viral tweet about from a retailer about not liking the way Marvel and DC have been handling their characters, and all the writers aren't real fans, yada yada yada, same bullshit we always hear.
And then in the middle mentions Miles Morales. Oh, yeah.
But as part of this, he's been actually interviewing some retailers, and the interview was actually very good. I mean, he tries the retailers for the most part.
I watched the whole thing.
Once you get away from they Phil Boyle, who we talked about on the previous episode, and the other retailers, they very smartly intentionally stay clear from any personal feelings of what the characters represent. I actually agree with the vast majority of the things they say. I'm not saying it's all correct, and I'm not saying their ideas are perfect.
The business stuff that they are talking about is things that need to be addressed within this industry. Yes, those things are there.
And they fight back against Mark Miller on some of these things about some of like the quality of the recent comics and what they think they can do. Mark Miller says something like, "Oh, has there been any Marvel and DC book in the last 5 years that's like, worth reading?" And like, that's just
so hold
stupid.
On.
Of course, there's tons of them.
This is the problem. I listened to the whole interview, and I was like, I stayed objective most of the time. But when that question was asked, and none of them said like Batman 3 Jokers, none of them said Wonder Woman Historia, literally sitting there going,
"Yep." If you don't think there's any good comics from Marvel and DC in the last 5 years, you're crazy. Of course there are. There's tons of them, right? And again, I didn't say I agreed with it all. I said I agreed with a lot of it. That was one of those points where I was like, well, no, of course there's good books. Is there a lot of shit? Yeah, but there's always a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Right. So if you look at the list of people who are writing for Marvel and DC, they are, by the large majority, non-political stories, straight white people. Like, that's the vast, vast, vast majority of the books at Marvel and DC. It's the same. It's either the same that it's always been or more than it's always been. There's not a ton, there's some books, but there's always some books that are trying to do something different. So, like, yeah, I that is one of those points where I do not agree with. But the business
ironically
elements,
ironically enough, one of the top books that's being written within the past 5 years, which I actually just recently got caught up on, was this wonderful book called Batman, Superman, World's Finest.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Who's that by again?
Mark Waid. Batman's, World's Finest is easily one of the best books being put out by Marvel and DC. Everything Chip Zdarsky's done has been great. Wonder Woman Historia is going to go down as one of the best graphic novels of the 21st century, right? I mean, there's so many good books. Again, I don't like all of them. There's plenty I don't like. But yeah, it's saying everything done. So everything done by Scott Snyder and Josh Williamson and Tom King, at DC, all that's garbage. These are your straight white men doing these books. Those are all garbage too. Like, everything by Al Ewing and Chip Zdarsky and Kieran Gillen at Marvel, that's all garbage.
Well, I think that
the
biggest tell about that interview was literally the response from nobody, none of the retailers. No, there was no actual response. I'm like, are you even reading the product? Are you even?
And there's the rub. Like, how many retailers? Okay, I am way far behind on Marvel. I'm never going to claim that I'm current on Marvel stuff. I'm not even current on DC. I'm a couple months back. But I read or plan to read the vast, vast majority of this stuff. So Toby's 21 minutes late. I'm not going to re-record this. Fucking Toby. If you think that there are no good books being published by Marvel and DC, you either have some crazy high standard or you're just not reading.
Well,
so
again,
if you want to read, if all you like is Ed Brubaker or whatever weird indie books that nobody else likes,
again,
there's all sorts of stuff for you to read, right? There's other books to read. If you don't like what Marvel and DC are doing, okay, that's fine. But it's not like they're not selling.
Yeah.
Of course, they're always the best-selling books are Marvel and DC.
I think one of the another thing from that was hilarious was, and you bring up the reading and all of that stuff, and it's like, okay, you're not reading this stuff. Like, obviously, you're not reading this material, but the stuff you keep talking about is comics used to be. Like, what do you like? If you're not the Simpsons old man screaming at the fucking sky with that comment, I don't know what the fuck is.
Oh, yeah. No, totally.
Like, we're doing more of back issues now. I'm like
that's great. Back issues are a high margin.
Yeah.
Like that's fine. If that is your audience, okay. But that's fine. But don't sit here and try to like, oh, damn the rest of the industry because you're not selling enough of the other product, or you think it's your customers don't want it. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Do you really know? Because it doesn't sound like these people are too connected to the actual customers.
No, and I don't think that they were throwing around numbers and all that stuff, and I'm like, so you're seeing an 18% dip in your sales. Okay, are you still profitable?
If you watch that retailer interview, I thought it was really funny. The guy from Graham Crackers basically calls Phil Boyle out pretty hard on that because Phil's like, yeah, comic sales are barely a portion of it, and then these sales go down. And he's like, so it's fine. Your comic sales haven't changed. They've gone down a little bit. Yeah. Like he was trying to claim much bigger losses, but it actually wasn't affecting him. Like,
no. Like it's a line wide kind of, and I'm saying this.
It's an industry
like nerddom kind of thing. Like games are down. Like everything is down.
Everything is down.
Why is everything down? These are symptoms of a larger thing outside of the retail cosmos of comic books.
There was a report from ICV2 and Comics Beat this past week. From NPD numbers, I'm never going to say Circana, sorry guys. From the NPD numbers from October through October 2023, that said manga sales in book channels was down 27%. Imagine if the direct market comic stores dropped 27%. People would say they would want you to drag CB Cebulski out in the street and shoot him.
Yeah.
Like they would think that the world was over if comic sales are down like 7%. Yeah. Right? But bookstore manga sales are down 27%. Where's the outrage from? Where's the outrage from the woke single issues are garbage. Every manga's the future. Again, it's just, and these are not real manga fans either. It's just a line. These people are not comic fans. Period. They're just trying to throw stones. But your fucking precious manga's down 27%. Where's the outrage?
Well, guess what?
Where's the claim that the bookstore
in the early aughts? It was,
we've already been through it.
Like everything, it's a cycle.
Exactly what I said. I'm quoted in Publishers Weekly about their manga channel. I was like, comic retailers have been through this. I'll pull up the article where this is exactly what I said earlier this year. We've seen these drops in manga sales before. It's very possible it could happen again.
Well, and also you have to look at just from my perspective dealing with manga. My son got into One Piece. I'm like, that's great. They're in between printings on a lot of the stuff when this new live action show came. And I'm like, so they have the same sufferings that other publishers have. Like, I remember that big fiasco with Marvel and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. And once again, I don't hate manga. I love manga. But using it as this weapon against the Western comic industry, it's like, why? It makes no sense. It just makes no sense. So that is me attempting to explain comic Twitter beef, Kevin. I hope I don't know if it helped at all, but
got it. I had all the pieces. I just didn't know what order they went in. So great.
Yeah.
Nothing. I got nothing to say. So we can move on.
It's just
I'm opting out.
It makes me so. It's just like, come on.
You know what this
exhausting.
is?
It's exhausting.
You know what this is? It's fucking exhausting, and this is all high school bullshit.
It is.
I deal with this shit every single fucking day with teenagers. And Kevin, you remember this from your days there. Like, it's the same whiny drama. It's like, just, why are you...
Well, if you want... This is Comic Gate to Mark Miller to everyone. If you want to make comics like they were in the 90s, go for it.
Yeah.
There's an audience for that. You can put it in previews. You can Indiegogo. You can... Why are you tearing down everyone else? Why... this is for Mark Miller, because it's like, we know why the other people are doing it. But if you really want to help the industry, if you really think you alone can save the industry, why are you doing it like this? Why don't you make these books that you think will help everyone and sell better? Why are you supporting people who are attacking fans, attacking readers, attacking retailers, attacking creators?
I don't want to say this.
Like, it makes no... Well, it makes no sense.
No,
right? It makes no sense.
I shouldn't say this, but no ghostwriter is going to work with him.
No ghostwriter? Oh, no ghostwriter? I mean, of course they will. Every fucking comics game moron will work with him because it's legitimate, right? Like,
yeah,
I guess
it's legitimate. I'm like, welcome to Miller World fanzines.
And like I said, I'm not against any of these books existing, but when you are threatening and harassing myself and other creators and customers and other stores, what are you like? No one can be on your side.
Yep.
You are doing it a service not just to yourself, but to the entire industry. If you think these books can really help and bring back a portion of the audience that has been lost, well, this is not the way to do it. You don't need to tear down Marvel and DC. You don't need to tear down manga. You don't need to tear down the small press creators to build yourself up. Just add to the pile. It just makes no sense.
No, so I think what it is what they view as an affront to their comics is the fact that something you said earlier, you don't stock it on the shelves. And they view
not now.
Well, the thing,
but if these if these books came out and they're like, hey, man, we love the 90s comics. We want to do some like 90s ass Liefeld style books.
Yeah, isn't it called Local Man?
And they're, but kind of, and we sell Local Man. We sell a couple copies, right? If these people say, yeah, we're going to kind of go old school. We want to do this stuff like we grew up. Well, we're going to bring this back. We want to try to drag these comic fans back to the store. And maybe they will like Batman and X-Men, right? Who knows? When you're doing it this way, no, like no one's going to support you.
No, so. But it's also, but they view it. They view the shelves being taken up by other creators who've put in the work, put in the effort, are making something not for everyone. They're just making something that they think will resonate with fans that like that kind of content. And those people are getting shelf space versus them. They go, it's an us versus them argument, right? Like there's only so much shelf space comic book stores can have.
I mean, I understand. I'm asking rhetorically. Again, I understand all this. Why are you doing this way, Mark Miller? Like, what are you thinking? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I expect he'll say nothing, and this will just go on. But two things. If you see Mark Miller, Aretha Van Sciver teaming up for some Indiegogo book in the near future, or if you start suddenly seeing, Kick-Ass is backed by other random people, remember this conversation because I feel like something is going on.
The question is here. This is the true question. Kick-Ass Volume 5, whatever the fuck it's on.
And other people have done Kick-Ass stuff, right? Yeah. Other people have worked on that property. So it's not going to be the first time.
What are your numbers for Kick-Ass Volume 5 going to be?
I mean, it'd be the same as any of the Miller World stuff. It's subs plus a handful of copies. None of them sold great. What was this last one? Big Game? That's the only one that's actually...
Like
that one sold okay.
Is it Nightclub?
All the rest we sold to 10 to 20 copies of. Big Game, we did a little bit more. But like not anything crazy. Again, good for a indie book. Pretty decent numbers. That's better than most.
You wanna take the short story? What is it? The Biggest Game? Or Kevin, what short story am I thinking of?
I don't know what
connected to Mark Miller.
Yeah, no, because it's the Big Game. Is they're hunting superheroes. Like, what's that short story?
The Most Dangerous Game.
The Most Dangerous Game. Yeah, I mean it's basically just that. Just superheroes in.
I didn't read it, so I have no idea.
I did read it. I was a buyer of every issue. Lane, did you buy it? He left.
I did, but I haven't read it yet.
Okay.
I'm just finished Ambassadors.
Oh yeah. I like that too.
We have people that have bought every Mark Miller comic on this podcast.
I will admit I have not. Look, I love Nemesis. I love Wanted, and I love the first volume of Kick-Ass.
Didn't you like Magic Order too?
Oh yeah. Thanks. I was about to look through the list and see like what am I forgetting off that. Yeah. I'm not talking about his DC and Ultimate stuff. I'm talking about the Miller World stuff.
Yeah.
But I bought Ambassadors because of the art, which was amazing, and Big Game because of the art, which was fantastic. So I'm guilty. I'm putting money in his pocket.
No,
but I'm putting money in my local comic store's pocket. Too,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. He is making books that some people want to buy, and that's great. Why the rest of this bullshit? What do you gain?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting next year or two.
Those woke books get more shelf space than he does.
But they don't, is this thing. Right?
I know.
I have to explain this to people. If a book doesn't sell well, no store is going to order shitloads of copies. I put this on Twitter because someone was like, how many? I know stores that are going out of business because they can't sell this shit. No, that is not the case. No store is ordering boxes of unsellable merchandise in 2023. We have FOC. We have the ability to adjust orders.
Yep.
If I order 20 copies and I sell 10, I'm going to order like 10 or 12 of the next issue. And if I sell 2, I'm going to order 2 copies of the rest and never look back. There are books There are plenty of books. A lot of the recent X-Men stuff, the new Captain Marvel book, Hawk Girl, right? Spirit World, all these books that people are mad at, they're not great sellers at many stores, period. I had more shelf copies of Big Game than most of those books. It doesn't mean they don't sell. Some people buy them. Mm-hmm. Maybe there are stores where they're selling more Hawk Girl than Batman. I don't know. It's not us. But maybe there is. I don't care if they exist. It's the company's fault or blame or success if it works or fails. It's only my failure if I order too many. And no store is ordering so many extra unsellable copies these days. In fact, it's the opposite. Most stores are ordering so little that they don't even have the chance of getting any of those books on the shelf to even have a chance of success. I think that's actually a different problem. There's a lot of stores that are like sub-only on everything now. And that's a different problem, but not the thing we're talking about. So Big Game is definitely a book where there's more. I would argue, I think more stores had copies of that on their shelf than Hawk Girl or Spirit World or the Miss Marvel miniseries that just came out or the new Captain Marvel comic. It probably did. So it's not like these books are crowding out your space. They just aren't. You have, if nothing else, equivalent space. Now, if you're talking real small press indie books that nobody's buying and I order 0 copies, well, yeah, but that's not Mark Miller. So he should know better. He's not an idiot. He knows what his stuff sells. It sells equivalent to a lot of Marvel and DC books.
Amazing what would happen if we actually had numbers.
Would be nice.
From companies.
Would be very nice. Yeah, it'd be very nice. So, yeah. Don't get it. Don't understand it. I don't get the game. I don't get where this goes. I don't get the long term here.
I mean, bad
publicity. He could just be an asshole. I mean, that's just the long and short of it. He could just be a real giant fucking asshole.
Well,
and just,
that's apparently what gets eyes on, and that's what get clicks and engagement.
If you're Elon Musk and just
right?
wanted, me and Leanne were just watching the Last Week Tonight.
Yeah, I just watched that one too. Yeah,
which right. I mean, we all saw the clip when it came out originally, but yeah, if you're Elon Musk and you just tell all your advertisers and go fuck themselves, and I mean, I guess Mark Miller could do the same thing. Good luck. Best of luck when you're telling stores and retailers and fans.
Oh, I just block all the ads now.
Yeah.
I just click block this, block this, block that. You know, when he was complaining about the blocking feature, I'm like, hey, well, I'm going to make sure I block as many of this bullshit as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Internet drama.
So what do you think is going to happen this week?
2023. Nothing.
Everyone's going to be good for the holidays.
And I learned my lesson.
Then come back.
Go on Twitter. I tweet 3 times and I have an international incident. So yeah, I think I'm good for a while now. Got that out of my system.
Yeah, just warn us when you tweet next.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, we can be your army. We can spread it even further.
Don't need that.
Hey, I want to get in on this cancel pig money, okay? Like, come on.
Geez. I will say, I have not looked up the info yet, but someone did register cancelpigs.com. So that's all I'm going to say, okay? Follow the money. All right.
Is it linked to justcomicnews.com? I'm following the money here.
Could be.
Some dark forces at work in this industry.
How is that news website doing?
I'm not sure what we're talking about. Never heard of it. Anyway,
I go there first every day, Brock, because I know I just want news. I don't want all the rumors and gossip.
That's where you go. That's where you go. So, actual news. Very, very breaking news tonight. We should definitely talk about here. Before we, we're not going to wrap up immediately. I got a handful of other random things to talk about, but the big news today, and definitely the big news to wrap up this year, is Jonathan Majors of formerly MCU fame, formerly Kang fame, has been found guilty on 2 of 4 charges in his domestic.
When did this drop?
violence trial. This was earlier today.
Oh, okay.
He was found guilty of reckless assault and harassment.
Oof.
And studio rep confirmed that they will no longer have Jonathan Majors working for the Disney company, and that includes his role as Kang in the further Avengers and Loki properties, which means Marvel's fucked.
Yeah, they're not fucked.
They must. I mean, look, they've had a year to kind of be like, okay, what's our plan B? But he's out. Yeah. He's done. Now they could still have Kang. They could just force Doom in. Like, that's been the rumor, obviously. There's all sorts of things they could do. But man, what a year for Marvel. Could this have ended on any worse of a note? Like I mean, they could have. Like, if he was found completely innocent, and everything went fine.
It can. I know how it can.
But I guess what if hasn't aired yet? So I guess it could still end on a worse note.
No, I know how it can end on a worse note.
What's that?
Aquaman 2 blows every single Marvel movie out of the water for like box office.
$2.5 billion. Aquaman 2 takes down Avatar. I'm pretty confident that's not going to happen. But
damn it. I thought I was about to put my palm out and say, put any money that you want on this. I mean, anybody on this podcast, anybody listening wants action on Aquaman 2 beating Avatar, I'm in.
No, not Avatar. The MCU movies.
No, what Ryan said, Avatar, Way of Water.
Yeah. Guardians still did like 864 or something like that. I mean, Guardians still did pretty decent. No $1 billion movie this year from Disney, which is a massive problem.
Yeah, do we just have to beat Marvels?
No, I mean Guardians is the number one for comic movies this year. It's like I think it's 864, 884, something like that. Someone could look it up.
It just has to beat the opening box weekend for any of these movies. Like if it does that, then it's done its job.
I mean, Ant-Man opened pretty well. Ant-Man did like 108 or something opening weekend. I mean, but then it just tanked, right?
It shrunk so fast.
Yeah. But yeah, man, what a fucking year for Disney.
Look,
holy smokes.
Not to talk about somebody's misfortune and their personal problems. So let's just stick to it on the movie side, not him personally.
Yeah, right? Of course.
Just say he retired from acting for the sake of argument, whatever. Couldn't you just do, like, without changing any of your plans? I'm not even saying they're good plans, but just without changing any plans, couldn't you just have another Kang step out and say, these imposters have been running around pretending to be me?
Of course. Well,
it's also
they fired
the first time they changed actors in the MCU.
Yeah. Right. The director left. They fired Jeff whatever. He left. I don't know. I have no idea. Jeff Loveness, the writer, left. So they have completely new people involved in all the Avengers movies. There's no way it's 2026 at this point. Avengers isn't going to be out until like 2027 or later. So yeah, they've basically scrapped the entire movie. Whatever their plans were, it's done. So they can go wherever they want at this point. I've seen a lot of people. I've not seen Loki season 2, so I don't know how it ends. But I've seen a lot of people suggest that they could just make Loki the bad guy in this. That the ending of Loki season 2 somehow would allow. Like, there's something in there that would allow them to just bring Loki back.
And have him be the big bad. Need to watch before Disney yanks it off the platform for no reason.
Yeah. So if you guys have seen it, you can let me know if that sounds correct. I saw multiple people mention this, so it seems like they had maybe set something up to maybe have Loki play a bigger part going forward. I mean, they've already said, no, we're not going to bring back. There was rumors that, like, we're going to bring back Robert Downey Jr. and blah, blah, blah. But no, that's completely been shut down. So it's not going to bring back the original cast or anything. They're sticking with the second group, which is great, which is fine, which is what they should do. But, like, how about we just not worry about multiple connecting movies? How about you just make a good Avengers movie with these people? Just don't worry about Kang. You could maybe just do something else.
Just make a good movie.
You're right. You got to start over. So why not just ignore all of this?
You still have to bring the Fantastic Four in. You're already hinting at mutants.
I mean, but that's it. Those are so unrelated. Yeah. That's a whole other thing. I mean, they could just end the MCU now. They could just be like, and we're done. FF and X-Men are the MCU. We're just gonna. Let's just ignore the rest of the Avengers people for now. I mean, not like Marvel Comics hasn't done that in the past too. So, Yeah. So no more superheroes.
It's Marvel 0 hour.
But yeah, what a way to end. No, we'll see. See what they end up doing. What? Look, Toby, you finished Loki? Toby.
Hello?
He was here. Hello. Hey, you finished Loki?
Yes.
End of season 2. Again, I keep your spoiler light. Is there a setup there to have Loki kind of be like the big bad? Because I read multiple people kind of mentioning this. I
think I would do a little disservice to him though if you do that. I feel like they park Loki in a really, really, really cool spot, and my humble opinion is to leave him there.
Not do more. Period. Or
well, at least for a long time.
Okay.
But I also feel like his arc has changed to a point where if you make him the bad guy again, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think his story has been. Look, in all honesty, season 2. At first, I was like, "What in the world is going on?" I hate this show because I don't understand anything. But they wrapped it up really, really nicely to a point. I was like, "That was really, really cool." And I thought that was a really cool way to leave Loki where it's at, or at least park him for a good while. So I say leave him be. That's my personal opinion.
Well, you remember my talk where I am like 100% convinced the first season the big bad was supposed to be Loki, right? Like they were going to walk in at the end and there's like, comic book Loki with the big horn crown, right?
Yeah.
Like, and they didn't. So, like, I wonder if that's like a possibility. Like, we have like the kind of good guy Loki, but the real villainous Loki is still out there.
Look, I don't want to give it away, but he does some things like he always wanted to be a ruler and a god, and he is a god, I guess. But a ruler. The way the show sets it up, where he finally understands what it means to be a ruler, what you have to give up for it, and he does. So I just kind of feel like his arc is just wrapped up really, really beautifully.
There's no real clear path to be like a big Avengers level threat.
No, absolutely. You could. I just think it would do a disservice to his character, personally.
Oh, okay.
Like, I think that's going like, you went 2 steps this way, you're going 10 steps back. So that's just my point of view of how things ended and where he is as a character now and what he did at the very end. At least that's the way I understood it. Maybe you watch it and go, you're a bloody idiot. He totally is the bad guy. Look, in my humble opinion, I felt like it was a beautiful way to end Loki's story. And I was actually kind of hats off. I was like, that was super well done.
Well, Toby, now you make me want to go watch it. Thank you.
But dude, the beginning was the first few episodes. I'm like, this is such a fucking Ryan show because I do not understand anything that's going on. It's super fucking annoying. I hate this fucking show. I don't know why I'm watching this shit. Nothing makes fucking sense. And then the entire time I was like, Ryan's gonna call me and go, I love this fucking thing. It's fucking awesome. It's because some stupid shit I know about the fucking 60s and they're referencing this. And there's a fucking clock that talks to me.
I mean, that's pretty accurate for him. Good, kudos. I mean, Toby Ryan, good job.
Run my voice through AI machine there or something there. What's going on?
I do have to say that clock is somehow really, really creepy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So we'll see what.
Well, I'm actually curious to see what you guys think when you get there because I really like the end of Loki. Like for Loki, for the character himself.
Yeah.
And it was like one of those
good omens.
No, but it's also like one of those rare times where I'm like, they didn't. At least in my mind, they didn't set it up to do other stuff afterwards. I felt like it was a kind of a cool ending. So
just no more.
Yeah, I would be happy if they never mention Loki again. Like I'd be perfectly fine with it because I thought it was a perfect way to end Loki's story.
Yeah, no, I'll get it's in my list. I'll get to it. I've been watching some other stuff, but I'm definitely gonna get back on the Marvel train soon enough. We were talking about Aquaman, and obviously this quote got thrown around a lot the last few days. But Jason Momoa said the future of Aquaman films is not looking too good. I don't think that should be a surprise where this is it, right?
But the future of dolphins in space with a guy named Lobo.
Well, who knows, right? Let me get to it. He says, the truth of it is, I mean, if the audience loves it, then there's a possibility. But right now, I'm like, it's not looking too good. So, he said he would still play the role if they offered it to him. But yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty unlikely. I think this set is pretty much done. We're getting more updates regularly from James Gunn on Superman, which this is a story I had from a few weeks ago we never really covered. He says it's still on plan for June. Was it July 2025?
No.
Okay. I mean, push it if you need to. Don't rush that out.
A lot of people in that cast for that movie.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried about it. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, because they've cast
but a lot of characters that I associate Superman with on a normal basis.
Well, the name Superman Legacy sounds to me like we're going to kind of get an examination of. Oh well, and we know the Authority is going to be in it. Sort of an examination of how the world sees him, right? This is a world where Superman has been here. This isn't like day one, right? Like he's a known hero that's been around for a long time. So I kind of I'm okay with having
that's the All-Star thing, right?
Yeah, right. Various characters sort of commenting on Superman and maybe teaming up with them. I like that idea of it, not just as dumb cameos to show up, but actually having real heartfelt moments with these. You can have these kind of goofy characters, but they're in awe of Superman. So I would think that's you're not going to have a huge story arc with Guy Gardner in it, right? It's going to be this real quick, couple minutes, just 1 minute scene where Guy Gardner is kind of talking about Superman or something like that. I see that
setting up a new DCU. You're kind of wanting to have, at least in the background, hey, this thread might be followed. This thread might be followed. This thread might be followed. Right. Which
I think we're kind of done with that. No, I don't actually want them to do that. I don't want 20 plots coming out of this. I just want a good Superman movie. I think people have turned so hard on that. If it's 12 lead ups to 12 other things, that's not going to go over well. Just make one good movie. That's all I ask. I don't care what the future has. Just do one good movie.
Yeah, I don't think it's
and then make one more good movie, and then make one more good movie. I don't care.
I think the other heroes are mostly there just to fill out the universe, so that the world has other superheroes. So it's not just
right. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. That it's going to be this. He said this is a world that is fleshed out. This isn't like the Justice League is a new concept, right? Superman has been here, so this is a lived-in DC universe. Maybe the Authority can be that new team, that new style that comes in to sort of throw havoc into this Silver Age Justice League style world. I'm just spitballing here.
It's you had the Justice Society, where they could go with this. Then you had the Justice League, and now the Authority is kind of taking the reins from that, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's just sort of my guess, but yeah,
we'll see. Nothing's set in stone yet.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Jason Momoa is great as Aquaman, right? I mean, it is not Silver Age traditional Aquaman, but I thought he's a fun character that plays the role well, for this kind of Conan style Aquaman that they've done in the past at DC. But if we move on to someone else, I think it's he's definitely doing enough stuff. I think he's going to. I don't think he's going anywhere. So we did similar. Sean Gunn is going to play Maxwell Lord. I know we maybe made some kind of half mention about that, but yeah. So this is I can't assume it's the same Maxwell Lord from Wonder Woman. I'm assuming this is going to be a very different version of the character, but
with Guy Gardner, you could have the Justice League International.
Well, so the vast majority of Justice League International is in this movie or been mentioned as things that are happening. So they're Booster Gold, Guy Gardner. Obviously Batman is going to come. I think Martian Manhunter hasn't really been talked about. And no Fire and Ice. Not did they? No, they didn't cast Fire and Ice.
No, but Manhunter, I believe, was.
Who? Martian Manhunter?
Yeah.
They cast Martian. Did they?
Didn't they? It's isn't it the guy from X-Men? The guy that evolves.
I don't know who. I'm not sure.
I know who you're
Class.
talking about. Yeah, I know who you're talking about, but I don't remember the character's name or the actor's name.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was cast as Manhunter.
Let me take a look. I don't think so. Wonderful.
You'll just
chat.
cut it out.
No, I don't know anything.
So you think of Metamorpho with Victor Shads?
Oh, yeah,
sorry.
yeah. Sorry, yes, you're thinking of Metamorpho.
Right.
Yeah. Metamorpho. Yeah, not Martian Manhunter.
He was in First Class.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. What? I don't remember that mutant's name. Oh shoot!
Go look it up. I have no. I mean, I know the actor. I don't remember him being in First Class.
He's the guy that evolves.
Yeah,
he was the first one that got killed.
Anyway, doesn't matter. I'll go look this up while we're talking. What the hell was I saying? Yeah, I was completely lost my
Justice League International. We haven't cast
Justice
all
League
of it,
International. Yes, thank you.
Remnants are there.
Yes, Justice League International. That'd be yeah. I mean, I would love that. I don't need that to be the first Justice League, right? I would like something a little bit more traditional, but I do like the idea of a lighter Justice League being around somewhere. So
that would make sense with Gunn's sense of humor, though, where Justice League would be
totally
internationally the first one.
Right. No, that's what I would want. Yeah, I don't want to. We're gonna have an Authority movie. I don't want everything to be like super crazy serious. Give me something kind of goofy sometimes. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. This is one of those. I got like one or two more things here. This is one of those stories I read that there's the showrunner for the Punisher show is going to be spearheading Amazon Prime's Spider-Man Noir TV show. Did you guys know there was a Spider-Man Noir TV show that was going to be on Amazon? Because I sure didn't. Did I miss this? I saw this and I was like, wait, is a Spider-Man Noir TV show? Really? Like,
I read
on Amazon?
rumors, but I never saw anything come of it.
I just thought it was a funny. I just was like, oh, okay. I guess there's a Spider-Man Noir TV show. As the internet has just eviscerated the Madam Web trailer online, boy, Sony, maybe not. Maybe just stop now before you go further down this hole that you cannot recover from. Because I think I
don't know. I think they kind of have the perfect plan, right? They make shitty movie after shitty movie to the point where they're going to make Disney pay them more to stop making the movies.
Holy shit! I think you've cracked the code.
Are we talking about Madam Web? Sorry, I had to step away for a second.
Yeah, is Sony intentionally devaluing Marvel and therefore the Disney stock price so Sony can actually buy Disney? Is that the game plan here? Holy shit, Lane, you cracked the case. I mean, you just have to keep Craven so me and Kevin can go get extremely day drunk and go watch that. But other than that, just cancel the rest.
Are you actually going to drink?
Look, if I'm going to go see Craven, Kevin's going to drink.
I'm bringing a tumbler into the theater with us, so he'll be
I may get drunk by proxy.
Yeah,
okay,
he'll be taken care of.
Like I said, I am very confident that me and Scott Shea, we must have had contact eyes when we went to go see Venom because we enjoyed that way too much. So I think it's just the crowd you're around can increase your enjoyment. Is all I'm saying.
They can also.
How long do I have to wait for this again?
I don't even know. When is it now? fucking who even knows?
Isn't Deadpool 3 coming out before it?
No, they're not even done.
I know.
Yeah, Deadpool. No, Deadpool's still supposed to be summer. Craven got moved to August 30th. Good lord.
Okay.
That's a long time to keep this up.
Day drinking, baby. Let's do it.
August. Jesus Christ.
Hot August nights of Craven.
It's gonna be bad. Yeah, it's gonna
You'll
be
be begging for content by then, given the the cupboards are going to be bare for the first half of the year.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. Final story that I did want to cover. Again, we're catching up with some old news here, but it's stuff I do like to talk about. Grant Morrison.
Grant Morrison. That statement does state true.
Grant Morrison, talking on their Substack about Wonder Woman, Earth One, the graphic novel with Yannick Paquette, and said that they're working for Warner Brothers as a consultant with Jeff Johns and Mark Wolfman for a number of years. However, everything got denied. We almost had a Grant Morrison DC Universe theatrical movie line. Pitches include Teen Titans, Doom Patrol, Green Arrow, Aquaman, a political Superman run where he actually used a number of those elements for his New 52 run on Action Comics. He also pitched some movies for Marvel, including Doctor Strange, Moon Knight, Morbius, Warlock, the X-Men's Warlock, and a Terror Inc. movie. I am now extremely disappointed that we did not get all of these and more. A Grant Morrison Doom Patrol movie, a Grant Morrison Morbius movie can only be better than what we got. A Grant Morrison Moon Knight movie can only be better than the TV show we got. It's impossible for it to be worse. So, damn.
Hey, you've known we've been in the dark timeline for a long time.
Is this it? I thought it was when David Bowie died, but is it when Grant Morrison's movies got turned down from Warner Brothers? Because that could be the point. That could be the turning point. So,
well, don't forget to also include the Cubs winning the World Series.
And it's true. What could have been?
Yeah, because that Bowie's death and the Cubs were both, and Trump were all 2016. So that's where the multiverse broke.
2016 is the split. Right. Yeah. 2016 is the split. So, oh well, Grant, you were like a decade too early. I'm sure that would.
Now wait, Ryan, I'll put you on the spot just for the close out the topic. If one of those could have been real, if you could watch it streaming at your home right now beamed in from Earth G, which one of those would you watch?
I mean,
no caveats. This is a single feature film for each of those.
Well, I'll give you two. I'm going to give you two. For DC, it'd be Doom Patrol, obviously, because they would take their version and only go crazier with it because you have the budget of a live action movie. I would. We got a lot of that in the Doom Patrol TV show, but clearly it is filtered through other people's perceptions of Grant Morrison's take on the Doom Patrol. I would like that raw, please, just straight into my veins. Just give me that, their vision of the Doom Patrol in live action. It would be incredible.
See, I think Doom Patrol.
I actually don't know what Grant. Well, I don't know what Grant Morrison would do, but like Teen Titans would be cool. But what weirdness would he take to that, right? Like, it's gonna very clearly love the Silver Age and the older books, but I'm not sure. I'd love to hear his Teen Titans pitch. That'd be great. For Marvel, I part of me, no, I'm gonna just go with Warlock. I love the idea of Warlock, the New Mutants Warlock. It's a cool character. I don't know what the hell you do with it, but I want to see what
as the lead of the movie.
Right. I want to say Terror Inc. is like the funny joke, but that's like Terror Inc. is like such a weird book already. It's like, what the fuck do you do with this weirdo with like his little fins or whatever the fuck he's got in his head? But like his little fedora and trench coat. But Warlock, I legitimately think is a cool character that is like notoriously underused, and the weirdness of that like techno, like
tons of nanobots coming together to make a giant robot.
Yeah, I love that idea. And Morrison would do crazy stuff with like this matrixy world that would inhabit like a Warlock movie. So that'd be cool. Just go crazy and do whatever the fuck you want, because it's Warlock. Nobody gives you shit about Warlock. So would his self-friend Doug be in it? Is that what he calls him? Self-friend?
I didn't read that much New Mutants.
Is it Friend Self? Is it Friend Self?
I don't remember.
think so.
Yeah. Oh, Warlock. You're a weirdo. I like that. I like that one a lot. Or Grant Morrison doing the Jared Leto Morbius movie, and then just, see what they do with that. Yeah, that's all I got. What else did I have? Did I have anything else? The only thing else here? The only other thing, I had a bunch of random other crap, but I deleted it.
You just have to clear the deck of the big stories since we're flipping the calendar.
And listen, the last thing I had, the only other thing I had here that I hadn't cleared out earlier was we got the trailers for the Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths animated movies. The animated movie, the first one. It comes out like streaming like in like 2 weeks or something crazy. It comes out really soon. They crank these things out. I've been pretty mediocre on the DC animated movies recently. It looks good. The trailer looks good. We'll see if it can actually keep any of the comic tone to it and not be kind of watered down. If Gunn's going to come in and clean some house, and Safran's going to come in and clean some house, I wouldn't mind them getting some changes to the team at the DC animated movie department. It's not been great. They've been really subpar. They were great for a long time, but everything feels a little weak right now. You got three Crisis movies and 2 Watchmen movies, and that's like the entirety of 2024. So like those are big swings. They could go off the rails real fast and real hard. So I don't know what those end up doing. We'll see.
I can't even think of the last one of those that I watched.
Oh, yeah,
the Batman Sons of the Dragon, or what? I can't remember. What
was interesting.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, I like the animation. Yeah. I'm a little hit or miss. I don't watch them all, but I've been trying to watch a few of them here, and they've been okay. That Legion one pissed me off so badly. It was so bad. Oh man.
Who'd they do dirty in there?
Mon-El, super dirty. Like, yeah. Oh, they fucked Mon-El. Oh, it's horrible. No. No, I mean, they kind of screw up the entire concept of the Legion, but they screw Mon-El hard in that. It's real weird. It's real. Mon-El's my boy. It's real weird. Yeah. It's not good. It's actually really bad. You know who they screw in that movie? The fans, because there's no fucking special features. The special features is a featurette of the characters in the movie. The one thing the DC animated movies have always done great is their special features are documentaries on the comics, and they're always fantastic. This one was awful. It was fucking wretched. They had no one from the comics. All it was just a recap of what happened to those characters in the movie. They never talk about the comics. They're like 5 minutes long. It's such an afterthought. That is the worst part of that movie.
So you're telling me it was an AI special feature?
It was stupid. It just was like, what the fuck is this? This has nothing to do with the movie. Let me rephrase this. It has everything to do with the movie. It has nothing to do with the comics of the characters. And DC does really good special features. They go deep into discussion about the characters and the creators and the backstories, and they get real comic people to come on and talk about these characters. And then they intermix it with stuff from the movies and cartoons and stuff. But they missed the boat hard on this one. Really pissed me off. My biggest disappointment.
Well, and you can still talk to Levitz and Wade, right? Like,
yeah. No, they don't do any of that. No, they don't talk to any of the creators. Yeah, it really sucks.
Jesus.
Really sucks. That was my. I was like, I watched the movie and I was like, well, that sucked, but at least I have the special features to look forward to. And those were worse. And those were worse. So it's really bad. So for all you out there that think all I do is kiss DC's ass, boy, that is not the case. But they mess up. They mess up bad. Mess up hard. It's hard to piss me off. But they did a good job of it. So. Well, that's my wonderful week, and that's some TV news and movie news, and we'll end what a way to end the year on.
So, can you review what the upcoming episodes are?
Yes, because we will be off for the next 2 weeks. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and New Year's Eve and New Year's Day would be our normal recording days, and that's probably not going to work for most people, and people are on vacation, off doing stuff. So we will be skipping those the next 2 weeks, of course. But we will be back early January. We will not. I can't imagine we'll have a whole Aquaman episode because that will be like multiple weeks after the movie's out.
Like 3 weeks after the movie.
Who wants to hear that?
Well, when it hits $1 billion.
Well, yeah. If it hits $1 billion, we'll record a full episode. Okay, there you go. If it hits $1 billion, we'll record a full episode.
If it hits $1 billion, I'm flying everybody on this show to Hawaii to record live
with Jason Momoa, right?
Okay.
Yeah, we'll try.
We'll have a live reunion recording on a.
I'm gonna buy a lot of tickets this weekend. I just want to see this happen.
Why is Toby filing for bankruptcy? Shut up, just go.
Yeah.
See, it's not the fact that you spent $1 billion buying movie tickets, Toby. It's the fact that you get a free trip to Hawaii,
Absolutely.
right? It makes it worthwhile.
He's going to spend more in tickets than it would cost to fly to Hawaii.
Correct.
I've never been to Hawaii.
And
so.
he promised Jason Momoa.
No. Higgins promised that.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, Higgins already. That's not my problem. It's been promised.
Yeah.
So free trip to Hawaii and Jason Momoa. That sounds like a vacation. We might all be dead afterwards, but that sounds like a vacation.
If Aquaman hits $1 billion, Kevin Sharp's taking us all to Las Vegas, or to the Las Vegas, to Hawaii.
Well, we could do Vegas too. Yeah.
So. Yeah, with Jason Momoa.
Just go to the Tropicana.
Sorry. I don't know why I said Vegas. Hawaii. Yeah, it's the same thing.
This might have the same amount of degree of success as Toby as your Disneyland plan to meet The Rock at the Jungle Cruise.
If Toby listened to me, that would have happened because The Rock was there and he was on the Jungle Cruise. It would 100% could happen if Toby listened to me, but no, he didn't listen to me. I knew what was going to happen.
The last time I was at Disneyland was when Michael Jackson just died.
Pouring out for Captain EO himself.
Yeah. No, I was actually really happy I finally got to see Captain EO. Nah, that's just been how long it's been.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, do we have a new bet for Kevin for this upcoming year?
Oh, Kevin's got a...
Oh my God! Ryan and I have to talk about it. We can't do it. We can't do it impromptu. Yeah. We have to. It takes like a lot of sitting down with charts and graphs. And
now I heard. I saw multiple comments about this past month. The David Ayer's back on Twitter, saying the Ayer cut,
fuck yeah, baby,
is coming.
Give it to me.
So back, we can put it back on the list. Yeah, put the Ayer cut back on.
Give it to me, baby.
I think that's the last man standing of the old one. Oh, the Spawn movie.
The Spawn movie.
Oh, 2025. It's coming. That's what Todd said. It's right around the corner. Any day now, we're getting official word. So yeah, there you go.
It's coming right after the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen reboot.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm sure that's long since done. All right. Thank you all. For a wonderful year of I won't say wonderful year, pretty terrible year for comic books, actually. But a wonderful year for this podcast. Terrible year for comics and comic news and comics dying and just comic news and comic movies and comic TV shows and comic video games. Does just
comic news have a tombstone with its date of birth in 2023 and date of death?
Death 2023? Yeah. But a great year for this podcast because it's finally over and we're going to take a couple weeks off break. And we'll see you when we come back in 2024, the future. We'll talk about Aquaman. We'll talk about our favorite things from 2023. Maybe some of our least favorite things from 2023 as well. Because those, I don't know, sometimes it's funnier. But it will definitely be on to talk about some of our favorite comics and comic movies and TV shows and related stuff. And we'll also talk about Aquaman when we come back in a few weeks. And if I've caused any more massive fractures in the comic industry, I'll make sure to catch you guys up on that as well. So thank you to all our Patreon backers, especially our top tier backers from most of or this entire year, including Edward at geekyvillain.com, The Lowdown with Luke and Derek on Spotify and YouTube, Joe Duff, Kelsey May, Craig Anderson at the Executive Evolution Podcast, Jimmy Rivera at the Social Forum Podcast, and Talon Bray. Thank you all for your continued support, as well as at comicconspiracypodcast.com and Apple Podcasts, where you can find all our previous episodes.
Yes, all 602 of them.
603? This is 3 now? 603?
Well, no, because there's only 602. If they're listening to this, they've listened to this one.
Previous. Comicsconspiracy.biz is where you can go to pick up some comics from us, mail order, or get them.
If you're a local, pick them up
shop,
at the store.
If you like, yeah. And you can check out meanwhileanthology.com. We can find info about the anthology book that myself and Kevin edited, and all of us on this podcast created and worked on, as well as all sorts of amazing creators from the comic industry. Mm-hmm. And fun times. And
hey,
still got
we
copies
did a
available.
successful Kickstarter.
We did. It's great. Super excited. SpiritofBrock.com is where you can go find Brock's stuff, his videos and tweets and Instas. Wanders of the Fourth Dimension podcast. Charlie's Doctor Who podcast, talking all about the Doctor. Lots to talk about recently for Doctor Who. Kevin's weekly interview series called Between the Panels at fanbasepress.com. Talking about all sorts of cool
I'm going to pimp
creators.
something else since it's the last episode of the year.
You do it.
YouTube, on the Comic Art Live YouTube channel, I have an interview series called A Page I Love, where I interview creators about one of their...
Have we talked about this yet?
Yeah, months ago. Interview various creators about one of their favorite pages or covers by someone else. And you can find it on... There's not a landing page just for that, but if you find the Comic Art Live YouTube channel, you can find them amongst the videos on there. They run about 5 to 10 minutes long.
Good. Who'd you have on recently?
Chris Ryle, Heather Antos were the last two guests. And then I've recorded a bunch that haven't come out yet. So it's an ongoing series.
Cool.
Yeah. And Ryan Sook will be the last guest of 2023. And then I believe Brian Bendis will be the first guest of 2024.
Nice. Excellent. Oh, great. It's awesome. You can do all that. You can go on leannehill.com and go see Leanne's art over there, my wife, and her Etsy store at etsy.com/shop/leannehillart. You can check out Twitter, Ryan Higgins. I'm sorry, you can check out Blue Sky. Ryan Higgins on Blue Sky, Brock on is Brock Sager, Toby's Toby XI, Kevin is at Kevin Sharp, and we are all those on Twitter as well. I'm Ryan Higgins Ryan over there. The store is Comics Gone Store. We're taking a little break from Twitter again, definitely. Geekbox is our podcast. We should have one more episode up this month talking about all sorts of nerdy garbage. We just talked about with Adam Fitch about his trip to Italy on this last podcast, so that was fun, catching up with Adam. And our friends over at Manga Monkey Nation talking about manga and anime. Go check them out. Okay, that's it. That's a podcast. Thank you, everyone, for... being a listener
happy
this year.
holidays.
Or I don't know.
Be safe.
Maybe just listen to this one episode. But thank you for listening to this episode. Thank you, everyone, for being on. Have a good Christmas if you celebrate. Have a good New Year if you celebrate.
No.
Vacation if you get one. Have a fantastic Festivus. The Festivus for the rest of us. Whatever else you do this next couple of weeks. If you do nothing, that's awesome too, because that's what I do. And I don't know. I work.
It never ends.
I'll argue with someone on the internet.
This is a strong ending.
I got some new DVDs I'm gonna rip. That's cool for my Plex server.
I got the Creator today in 4K.
That's my plan. Nice. I just got Coraline. I haven't seen that in a very long time. Just gonna have to watch that again sometime.
Oh, I watched a Christmas movie the other night.
Nice.
Yeah, Kiss Bang Bang.
Oh, I thought you meant like a Christmas Story, like the.
No. I watched an old Robert Downey Jr. film.
Okay, yeah, nice.
Val Kilmer's in it too. I also, funny enough, this is a quiz for all of you on here. I just watched a movie that had Catwoman in it, Superman, Daredevil. I'm probably forgetting another one. Oh, a Sinestro.
Superman, Daredevil, Sinestro. Okay.
All of those actors were technically in this movie.
Okay.
Anybody in another movie?
So, was this Halle Berry?
No.
Which one?
No, Catwoman.
Which Catwoman?
Pfeiffer?
Yeah, which Catwoman?
Pfeiffer.
Okay.
The real Catwoman.
Okay. Mark Strong, Michelle Pfeiffer. Who else?
Henry
Superman?
Cavill.
Yes. And Daredevil.
Ben
Affleck?
No.
Charlie Cox?
Yes.
Oh, I have no idea. They've all been in a movie together. Yeah, I have no idea.
I'll give you a hint.
Who's Charlie Cox been in?
It's a Neil Gaiman book.
I have no idea what movie they were in.
No. Anybody? You remember?
I mean, there's only a couple movies based on his stuff, so it's Neverwhere, or
Nope.
it's what's the other one?
Stardust and
Stardust.
Yeah, are they all in Stardust?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah,
I totally forgot that.
I have no memory of who was in that movie.
That Henry Cavill is in Stardust.
Yeah, he plays the
he
plays the love interest guy.
Yeah,
is he like a kid?
Oh, he's pretty young in it, but
yeah, he's really young. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Go watch
Stardust. That Neverwhere movie too, right?
Was it a movie?
Too?
I thought it was a
TV show.
It was like a miniseries, right? Yeah.
It was also a BBC like a radio show.
Yeah. I think that's what I was thinking of. Yeah. Cool. All right, that's it. We're gonna go now. On that note, goodbye, everyone. We'll see.
Glad you kept listening.